Hello, this is Rachel Heath. I am the Market Center Administrator at KW Utah Realtors in Midvale, and this is the Greensheet How-To Training. As you can see on the screen here, there is a document I have created. It is step-by-step with full color and arrows, so you can walk through this to fill out a Greensheet. If you want a copy of this document, either digitally or paper version, let me know. I'd be happy to either send you a PDF or you can stop by my office and pick up a printed copy. It is designed to help you create a Greensheet step by step, which we will also do during this training today. The most important thing I need you to be aware of is this top line, due date. Submit Greensheets within 3 business days of an offer being accepted. We need a Greensheet for every single accepted offer. Even ones that end up canceling within a few days because of due diligence or financing and appraisal, you absolutely need to create a Greensheet for every single accepted offer. I know that sounds like a lot now. When you first do Greensheets, it may take you a few minutes, but once you've done a couple, you should be able to finish them within about 5 minutes each, and it's just part of one of the expectations of being a Keller Williams agent. If you want to know more about why we ask for a Greensheet for every offer, I'd be happy to go into it with you and show you some of the reports that are accessible to you so that you can empower your business. But that is one of the big reasons. So please create a Greensheet for every single accepted offer. All right, let's get started. So to create a Greensheet, you're going to start at your MyKW homepage. So it's mykw.kw.com and log in. So I'll log out now just to show you what the main page looks like. So you'll need your username and password. If you do not have your username and password, please see your ASC or MCA and they will help you either reset it or get in touch with the people that can reset it for you. You'll need to log in, and it takes you to your KW dashboard. This is where you're going to access all of your Keller Williams technology, from the Career Growth Initiative to your referrals, which is also available on the Kelly app, which you need if you don't have it yet, to a link to your dot loop, and your e-edge, so all your 33 touch and marketing campaigns, all of that lives here on your Keller Williams dashboard. To create a Greensheet, you'll come up here to the Technology tab. Do not click on it, hover on the Technology tab and come down here to Greensheet. I'm going to go to Greensheet Market Center approval because I need to have admin access, but so you won't have, your list won't be this long. You'll just go to Greensheet. So we're going to open this up. This is the Greensheet dashboard. All of your Greensheets will live here. If they've been initiated but not submitted, they'll be in the Initiated tab. So these are Greensheets that have been started but haven't been submitted. This is the Accepted tab. So there is one Greensheet here that's been partially accepted. That means the agent has submitted it and the office hasn't looked at it and accepted it yet. If you've submitted a Greensheet and that transaction did terminate for whatever reason, it'll show up here under TNC, or transaction not closed, or terminated not closed. If you've submitted a Greensheet and we returned it to you because something was missing, it'll be in your Return tab. Most of your Greensheets will end up in this tab, DA Created. DA stands for Disbursement Authorization, and it's the form that we provide you with your commission payment that breaks down what you get, what you pay to the office, any outside referrals, any information like that. So that's what the DA is, DA, or Disbursement Authorization. So these are where most of your Greensheets will end up, in this tab. To create a Greensheet, you'll come up here to Create a Greensheet. And it's going to ask 2 questions off the bat. The first, are you the listing agent? If you are and you select yes, you'll have another question. Has this listing been entered into the KWLS? A lot of agents see that, especially newer agents, and they don't know what that means. If your listing has gone on the MLS, then it is most likely in the KWLS because the MLS feeds directly to the KWLS. I will also provide some information about how to add and edit listings in the KWLS. So if you have questions about that, you'll get a little information during this training. For example, right now we're going to go ahead and select yes. We're going to assume that this listing has been entered in the KWLS. It'll pull up the KWLS dashboard. Now, if you're logged in as you, your listings will automatically show up here. I don't have any listings because I'm not an agent. I can, however, search for listings. I'm going to search by one of our, well, let's do, we're going to search by last name, and then the listing, hit search, and all the listings for that agent will show up here. So what it wants you to do is select a listing to load into the Greensheet. So you can come here to the MLS number, click on that, opens up this listing, and scroll down to the bottom of the listing. In order to add it to the Greensheet, you want to click this button. However, this button needs to be green in order for you to add it. So something's not working out with this listing right now, so it's not letting me add it to the Greensheet. And the reason it's not is it's saying right here that it's expired. Expired May 22nd, listing status expired. Well, the reason for this is that when you create a listing on the MLS, oftentimes you're going to have a 3 or maybe even 6 month listing term. But when it loads to the KWS, it automatically sets the expiration date for 30 days out from the list date. So you may end up having to come in here and manually change the expiration date if it doesn't go under contract within that 30 days. So that's what we're going to do now. And scroll down back to the bottom, hit edit. And now I can change the expiration date. Let's go ahead and change this to something after today. And you can change this listing status if you want to, but changing the expiration date should do the trick. Come back down here and hit save. And now if you scroll down, this Greensheet button is green and you can select it. What this will do is pre-fill all the information in this listing into the Greensheet for you, and it'll save you some time. So that's option number 1. I'm going to click out of this and we're going to go back to the Greensheet page. I selected the wrong one. Okay. All right, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so create a Greensheet. Option number 2 is if you're the listing agent, you can select yes, or you can also select no, or maybe you aren't the listing agent. If you select no, it'll ask a second question. Is this a KW listing? So even if you aren't a listing agent, but the listing is a Keller Williams listing, you can select yes. If you do that, again, it'll take you back to the KWLS to select that listing. So say it's not, or it is, but you want to create the Greensheet manually. You can hit no, it is not. What this is going to do is bring up the Greensheet creation form here. Anything that's in red has to be filled in. If it's not red, you can leave it blank, but the more information you provide in the Greensheet, the more information we track for you and create some more powerful reports for you to use, again, to power your business. So let's just go through this step by step. You're going to fill out one section at a time. This first section is the general information. It's going to default to residential. Most of our deals are residential. We only have a few commercial deals a year out of our office. Every office is a little different, but residential. Contract date. This will be the offer acceptance date. So say it was yesterday. Close date. Go ahead and put whatever you have currently for the settlement date, the settlement deadline. I know that the closing date frequently changes, and that's okay. When I process your commission check, I'll go through and verify all this information and make the adjustments as needed. So it's okay if the close date you put on the Greensheet isn't the final close date. We can make those changes without too much problem. But for now, when you're creating it, put whatever you have set as the agreed upon close date. So let's say it's August 8th. The type is either a listing, a buyer, or both if you or your team members are on both sides of the sale. Do not use this other type. That is for referrals only, and I'm the only one who should use that. So listing, buyer, or both. For the sake of this one, let's go ahead and tell it's a listing. So even though at the beginning I answered those first 2 questions, no, am I the listing agent? No, it still allowed me to put that this was a listing. So it's okay to do that if you want to. I think it's great to use the KWLS. It saves time, but some people just don't like to do that. They prefer to do it manually. It's up to you. The class is most of the time going to be property. We do a few leases, but property. Listing source. This is not in red, but I highly recommend using it. This allows you to tell the system where you got that lead from. If you use this on every closing or even every offer, it'll populate to the DA and we'll be able to pull a report. And so after a couple of months, you can pull up all of your offers and see where your leads came from. So you could say, oh my goodness, I'm getting most of my leads from referrals, or I'm getting most of my leads from the KW website. So you don't have to fill this in, but it's very helpful if you do. Property type. Most of our deals are going to be resale or new builds. We do a few lots and a few farm and ranches. Mostly leases are used on commercial types, so it's going to be very rare for you to use that. We have to fill that in. The street number. I'd like the address and the first directional, and then the name. So say this is at 4700 West. City, state, zip, and county. Fill those in. Everything else can be left blank if you don't want to fill it in. Then you'll go to the next section. Enter the sale price, and again, use the most recent price on the Rep C or the following addenda, whichever you have. So say the sale price right now is $325,000. If you're taking a 3% gross listing commission, you can put that there and tab through. It'll pre-fill your commission amount here. If you're taking a flat commission, you can hit flat and then enter it manually. If you're taking a 3% 3% net commission, your commission is going to be affected by any seller credits. So it's not actually going to be $97.50. It might be something a little less than that. So you can instead use the flat option if you want. The earnest money box is not required, but it is very helpful. Just a nice note for me, if you can put in here KW, that means we're holding it and how much earnest money we're holding. So again, not required, but very helpful if you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and change one thing in the general information. If I'm going to change this to buyer sale. If I do that, when I come down to this box, it's going to ask for the sale commission versus the listing commission. So in both of these, you're only putting your portion of it. So if you're the listing agent and it's a full 6%, I don't want you to put 6 in the listing commission box. Let's go back down. Here, you're not going to put 6. You're going to put only the portion that you're getting, 3%. Now we can go to the next section, buyer. This can be as simple as the buyer's last name, but the more information that you want to have available to you, you can put in here. So this, we'll just put Smith, the buyer's last name. Next section, sellers, again, it can be as simple as the last name. All right, this is where it does get a little tricky sometimes for people. So we're going to spend most of our time on this page. This is the agent detail page. All right, if you are logged into your MyKW, it will autofill you as Agent A. If you need to change that, for example, if you're a transaction coordinator with your own MyKW account and you're creating a green sheet for somebody else, or you're on a team and you're creating a green sheet for another agent, you need to change this agent name. So I'm going to highlight this and type in here. I'm trying to type and it's not going to do anything. You cannot type into this box. What you can do is click on the magnifying glass and search by last name. You can also search for the first name if you want, but I find last name is most helpful. Hit search, find that agent, and select them. I'm not going to select that agent right now. We'll pretend that this is my commission. Name, you have to select the role. Most people are going to be individual agent. Only if they're on a team and they're restricted to specifically buyers or sellers would you select buyer specialist or listing specialist. On a team, the lead agent is obviously going to be called lead agent, but most people enter themselves as individual agent. The type here is listing. We do not use this inside option. If you are paying a referral to somebody within our market center, you will put them as agent B on the green sheet rather than an inside referral. On this one, we'll select listing. The agency is the seller. If you are representing both sides, the listing or the seller and the buyer, you would select dual. But for this purpose, we'll just hit seller. And then the unit. For every side of a transaction, it needs to total 1 for the whole green sheet. So if I was on a team and I'm splitting this with my team member 50-50, I'd put 0.5 as the unit for this one. Once you do this, tab through and it'll pre-fill my volume and my commission. The next box is the outside referral percentage. If you are paying an outside referral and it's 25%, you can enter the percentage here, hit tab. If you do that, it brings up this box. It reminds you to enter the referral data in the outside referrals section below. You can hit OK to clear that box, but then you do need to enter the referral information, which is now located at the bottom of this page, outside referrals. We'll go into that a little bit in a minute. Okay, because I put 25% in this box, it calculated what 25% is and loaded it there. MC approved concession. MC stands for Market Center. So if you've made a concession that you cleared with your broker and your team leader, you had to make a concession in the commission to get the deal to close, you'd put that here, and then we would take it off of the top of your commission and not take our split on that. If you charge a bonus or an admin fee, some of our agents pay or charge $350 per listing, and then that helps them pay their transaction coordinator or what have you. This next box down here says split with MC. Again, that stands for Market Center, or 100% to agent. This one specifically refers to the box directly above it. It's asking, is this bonus or admin fee being split with the Market Center, or is 100% of it going to the agent? In our market centers, it is always split with MC. So if you charge a bonus or an admin fee, it gets counted as commission, and we do take our split on it. So you'll need to change that. If you fail to change that, I'm going to change it anyway, and then the calculation at the end won't be correct, so you want to make sure you change that. Then it's going to calculate your subtotal. Then you've got your commission split. The standard commission split is 70-30, so 70% to the agent. It'll calculate in this box what is left after that. And then there's the 6% royalty that gets paid to Keller Williams International. It looks like you can edit this, but you cannot. Please don't change that. Everybody pays 6% until they cap on their royalty. The next section asks if they're capped on royalty. If you do not select anything, it will default to no. It'll think you're not capping your royalty, and it'll calculate what 6% of this $4,625 is. If you know you're capped, you can hit the yes box, and it'll zero out that royalty box, which is nice. Make sure you're tabbing through. If you don't tab through, this agent 1099 income box will not calculate correctly. This is what we will report to the IRS for you for your 1099 income. Let's scroll down a little bit farther. Now, as you'll see, this next box is the text is red. It's highlighted in pink, which means it must be filled in. Can be zero if you don't want to contribute, but it cannot be left blank. We definitely recommend using your green sheets to contribute automatically to KW Cares. It's a wonderful fund that is funded 100% by agents to be used by agents in need, and it is tax deductible. So some of our agents give $10 per transaction or $25 per transaction, or maybe even only $2 per transaction. But that way you're giving an automatic amount each green sheet. So let's say for this purpose you want to give $5 to KW Cares, and then there's KW Kids Can, which is also tax deductible. And a BOLD scholarship. This one's not tax deductible, but if you want to help out agents who want to attend BOLD but cannot afford the price tag, you can contribute to a scholarship, and it'll just come right off of your commission, which is nice. But say you don't want to do that this time, that's fine. Just enter a 0. If you've paid for the buyer's home warranty, you can put it in this section here. Oftentimes that'll come off the top of the commission before we even get it from title, so we'll subtract it from the top of the commission. But you can put it here to note it if that's helpful to you. If you're paying a transaction coordinator, you can enter them as a deduction here. Our in-house transaction coordinator, Michelle Miner, M2, and her fee. What we will do if you enter the deduction there, as long as they're set up in our market center, is we will take that out of your check and pay that person directly. Now, we do not provide 1099 service for this. You will still have to track what you've paid them and give that person a 1099 at the end of the year, but we will take care of paying them for you. So we can either do an ACH deposit or we can print a check for them. That way you don't have to worry about waiting till you get your commission and writing a check and giving it to your transaction coordinator. We can do it for you. The other deduction you need to enter is E&O insurance. This stands for errors and omissions. Every agent in our office, and each office is a little different, but in our office, it's $595 per calendar year. Everybody starts paying again on January 1st. They pay up to $595 in the year at $35 per transaction. If you're splitting this with a team member, you can pay half each, which would be $1750. But remember, you cannot leave that blank. Now, I did tell it there was an outside referrals information here. So down here, I need to enter the brokerage name that we're paying this to. And this is actually the company name. So, for example, our brokerage name with the Division of Real Estate is KW Utah Realtors Keller Williams. But our business name that we have registered with the IRS is Real Momentum Midvale. So we need referral checks to be paid to Real Momentum Midvale, so that when we do our 1099s at the end of the year, we have correct information for the IRS. The best way to make sure that I have the correct information is to get the W-9 from the brokerage that we're paying the referral fee to. This is just a standard practice. I provide our W-9 if somebody's paying us a referral fee. So you should be able to contact the agent that you're paying the referral fee to and ask them to send you a W-9 for their office, not their personal W-9, but for the brokerage they work for. And then you'll tell me here that this is going to KW Layton, for example. And then you have to select which agent is paying this. Now, Agent A was the only one we had filled in, and so it'll put in the dollar amount that Agent A was paying. We need the tax ID information. Again, the best way for me to get this is just for you to get the W-9 from this office. I need the address so that we can mail them this referral fee. And then we can go back up to the top. So we already told that there was half of the unit to Agent A. So for Agent B, we'll add another person here. So let's just see. Okay, so we'll add this agent and fill in the information the same as we did. And then we need to put the full unit, the rest of the unit, 0.5, so that the total for the whole transaction is 1. And we can just tab through and fill out the same information for Agent B. Now, remember, you cannot leave this blank, so for any agent that you put a name in, you have to fill in these boxes here, either with a 0 or an amount. Once you've filled in the complete green sheet, the next section is for the co-broker. This portion of the green sheet is actually really great. You can fill this in and let us know if you think that this agent would be a great fit for Keller Williams. What I'll do when I say this is I give this to our team leader. She'll contact that agent on your behalf, and if she gets them to join Keller Williams, they can name you as their sponsor and you can earn profit share from them. So if you work with an agent that you really loved, they had a lot of integrity, they were on time with everything, and you think, man, this person would be great to do business with on a regular basis, well, let's get them to join Keller Williams so that you can benefit and that they can benefit from everything that Keller Williams offers as well. But again, none of it's red, so you do not have to fill it in. It is very helpful if you do that. Next section, vendors. You don't really need to fill this in. This is not as important, but it does, if you fill it in, it does, the information is tracked for any reports you may want to pull about what vendors you've worked for or worked with in the past. The final section is notes. If there's anything I need to know about this transaction, for example, if in the detail page, or I'm sorry, in the price commission page, you put it was a 3% commission, but you know, for example, that it's going to be net, you can put in here, commission will be net. That way, when I get the commission check and it's a little bit off what you put on the green sheet, I'll know why. It's because I'm expecting it to be 3% net and not gross. Then you come here and hit submit to MCA. Then you're going to hit submit green sheet. If you get this big red angry box, it means you've missed some information. You'll need to go back and fix that. If it went through correctly, the status will change to partially accepted. And that's good news. That means everything's complete and it's been sent to the Market Center for us to review it and enter the information into our system. The final thing you need to do before you leave this page, once it's been accepted and submitted, is come up here to printable view. This pulls up this page here. Depending on what browser you're using, you may have this menu bar up here. If you do have the menu bar, you can go to File, Print. If you don't have the menu bar, you can right-click, and sometimes there'll be a print option over here. But File, Print, and print it to a PDF. We use a cute PDF writer, or most computers these days have a built-in PDF printer. Hit OK. I'm going to name this one as 123 Main Street, semicolon GS for green sheet. Save it, and now it's on your desktop. Now I need you to add this to your loop. You need to add the PDF copy of the Greensheet to the loop. So submitting it is not the last step. You still need to download the printable view, save it as a PDF, and put it in your loop. Let's just make sure. If a contract cancels, please notify your MCA office by adding a notice of cancellation to the loop and resubmitting the loop for review so that we can go in and terminate this Greensheet for you. That covers the basic Greensheet entry. If you have any other questions about Greensheets, or you have one that's a little different than normal, some of them get a little tricky, please feel free to call the MCA in your office and they can help you with your Greensheet. All right, thank you so much.